How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. I just came back from Yogananda's Kriya Yoga initiation, and I wanted to share my experience on how it went and what is Kriya Yoga. Does it even make any difference? Do I feel somehow magically different? I'll get into that and all the details that you may be curious about if you're on the path of self-realization. It was in 2025 at the beginning of the year where I picked up this book, The Autobiography of a Yogi, and I started to read it finally. I got that book actually 5 years ago when I was still in Toronto. I had over 200 books in my room, and I had read it at that time, maybe a few pages, and I put it back, I guess because I wasn't ready for it. And I never revisited it again. When I left Toronto, I threw everything out. I even donated my books. Somehow, out of those 200 books, this one book came with me to Costa Rica, and I didn't even know that I had it. And it was 2024 and 2025. I was going through some rough time, and I was looking for guidance, you can say. I wanted to change something. I wanted to be more peaceful, more find the joy that I had before that I lost. So I picked up this book and I started to read it. And this time I felt connected to the stories, connected to the path of Master Yogananda, of what he went through. Whatever that he was talking in that book made so much more sense to me. So I kept on reading it and reading it and reading it. And eventually at the end, I finished the book and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And I wanted to know more about this Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is not something magical like you may think. It's not like you're going to float in the air or like you're not going to be, what do you call it? Teleporting somewhere. It's not like that. Kriya means it's an energy yoga. You are working with the life energy. I don't want to go into the science behind it because I'm not qualified enough to talk about it. I'm just fortunate enough to have come across it and to have gone through the initiation. So if you are feeling called to Kriya Yoga, you must go through a master, not just listen to some random guy on YouTube talking about it. Anyways, so I was open-minded to enroll into this program. It's a 9-month self-study program where they send you a lesson every 2 weeks, and each lesson talks about what is a Kriya Yoga, and also prepares you for the initiation by giving you preparatory exercises that you need to do. So it starts with quieting your mind, interiorization, detaching from your mind, and it shares specific techniques, the science of meditation that you can do to start seeing the effects of it right away. I actually forgot the 8 limbs of yoga. So Patanjali, the stages of, you can say, like a deep meditation is niyama and yama. So those are like the rules of what you can do and what you cannot do. So you can think of those as like morals, or you cannot steal, you have to be truthful. And those things are rules that we live by, right? Those things are important. So that's the first and the second step. Niyama. I you know what? I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know. No, I don't remember it. But basically, just to summarize, without going into the details, so these are the rules, and then after that, you have to keep a specific. You have to conquer your body by staying in a specific posture and not moving it too much. And then after that, you have to go interiorize yourself, and then go from detaching from your mind and your senses, because all the distractions, they're coming. They're pulling your consciousness away. Is it from your mind, your thoughts, and also your sound, your touch? So there are some specific techniques that gets shared in these self-studying modules that helps you to withdraw from your senses so you can have a deeper meditation. So even before you get initiated into Kriya, you can have profound, deep meditation experiences where you're in a state where there are no thoughts and even no breath. And that's a very powerful methodologies that's being shared just from these lessons that you can learn on your own. You don't have to go anywhere, and it doesn't really cost you much to enroll into those lessons. So anyways, I did those whatever practices they prescribed for about 9 months, after at which point you become eligible to apply for the Kriya Yoga. I did that, and I was invited to go to Los Angeles in February, which happened last month. I registered for it, and I was still kind of hesitant. Maybe I don't need it. I can just, do the self-study for the Kriya, because even after you finish the program, you have the option. For some people, they cannot go to United States, or they just don't have the time or maybe the resources to go there. So they also send you self initiation lessons which you can learn and follow. I got that, so after receiving that in December, so I got it right on the Christmas, December 24th. This must be the gift of the master. So I started to practice it, and I thought I got a pretty good hang of it. Maybe I was thinking, I'm not going to go. What's the point of going? It's just too much expense, too much this, too much that. Anyways, I just thought, like, since I already registered, I confirmed my spot, I wanted to be respectful, and then I decided to just book the tickets and just go to California. So I did that, and that experience was one of the best life-changing experiences I had. I'm a type of person, I'm very economical. I don't really like splurging in luxuries, but that trip to me was like a gift from the master, or from God, you can say, because everything about the trip was unexpected extravagance. So to give you an example, like, I just booked a hotel, Hotel Biltmore. I booked that hotel because that's where Master Yogananda passed away. That's where he attained Mahasamadhi. So his energy is still ever present there. And before booking the hotel, it's an expensive hotel. I was just looking at some cheap options, like room options on Airbnb. I kept looking and looking, nothing worked. And I guess I was kind of being pushed into booking this hotel. So eventually I booked, although it was expensive. I just booked a standard room, like nothing fancy. But when I arrived to the hotel, they gave me a suite room. A suite room is like a two rooms together. I had my own like a double size, like king size bed, and I had my own office chairs and office table and TV, fridge, like a living room. I had like a big space, like a big apartment right in the heart of LA. LA is one of like the most expensive places. And the first night I was like, wow, this is great, thank you. And the second day they told me, well, if I want to continue, I can just upgrade it for a small fee. The fee was not small, it was still about $250 per night. For some reason I felt like, let me do this. I want to experience this. This energy, this space is just beautiful. So I paid for that, and it was amazing. Just the whole stay there was amazing. I had the entire space to myself, and I was just doing meditation. I was just getting ready to be initiated into Kriya Yoga. And also every morning I went to the reception downstairs where the master passed away, and I meditated there in the morning. It was a great experience, and I still feel to this day that it was a gift from God or from masters for the work that I was doing, because I normally do not reward myself, and that experience made me feel appreciated, made me feel worth living for. And I realized, like, life is not all about saving money. It's about having the experience. What good is money going to have if it's just you're just keeping it, you're just saving it? You have to use it to have the experiences that you want to have in your life. and it made me realize that. So I became more focused on what type of experiences I want to have, instead of, oh, let me not do that because I want to save some bucks. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to take your wealth to your grave, but you should be able to take your experiences and the joy of going through it with you. So it was a beautiful lesson, and I'm grateful to have had that experience. So the day of the initiation, I started to have some jitters. I wasn't sure what it's going to be. And before I get to the initiation day, so I arrived to LA a couple of days before. So on Friday, I went to the ashram early just to check things out. And I wanted to take a public transit because, cab was about $50 one way from the hotel, and I have to pay back. It doesn't make sense. And also I wanted to get a feel of the city, so I decided to take the public transit, and I walked up Mount Washington. It's a steep hill, and it was a good experience, and I really enjoyed trying to make my way up there. When I made up there, I could feel, as I was going closer to the compound, this heavy smell of roses. There was no rose around me, but I could feel as if there was a rose flower, like a petal, under my nose. And that told me that, that's the presence of the master. Because Yogananda loved roses, and even his altar, even during the Kriya lessons, they send a rose petal that's blessed by the master. So that was kind of magical. I found, as I was going there, I felt a welcoming presence by the master, and everyone was super nice. It was almost like I'm going back to a place where I once was. It had that strange sense of familiarity. I'm not sure if my past life or something, I'm related to that place, or related to the master. I don't know. I don't want to get into the too much analysis of why the familiarity was there. But I went there the first day, and everyone was so nice, and I got to see the shrine, the chapel, and also the well where the master used to spend a lot of time. So the master's handprint and the footprint is still ever present on the well, and you could just stand by the well and you could feel the silence in there was beautiful. It's almost like you are in a presence of God that's asking you, what do you want? Tell me and you'll get it. Kind of like that, kind of like that feeling. Imagine yourself, you came across this genie, and you feel that presence, and you feel that conviction that whatever you will ask is going to be rewarded to you. So I was at this well for a while, and just soaking into this energy. I didn't know what to ask, because I know that whatever the material things I may ask for is just temporary. Even if after I get it, it's just gonna go away, and I would want something else. So I took my time, and I decided to ask for this. I said, Master, please bless me with peace and ever joy that's never stops, no matter what goes on in my life. I didn't say those exact words, but that's the message that's what I asked for. No matter what happens, the ups and downs and the curves, I go through it with peace, with joy. And it doesn't mean I never feel sadness. It doesn't mean I never feel any of those other emotions. Let them come and go. But my base is joy and peace. That's what I asked for. And I think I got it. Especially after the night I had my Kriya Yoga initiation. So coming to that day was magical. As I said, it was kind of jittery in the morning. Nervousness. I didn't know what to expect. So I went to the event, and earlier. I went to the event early, so just walking around the garden and speaking to the monks there. It was time to enter the building, so although I was early, it looks like people were already waiting in line, so I was at the end of the line or somewhere towards the end, and I thought to myself, man, I came in early. I should have been at the front of the line so I could have sat in the front. So anyways, I did my registration and I went and sat down. I was at the last seat, the last row. So I thought that's where they're going to hold the event. But after a while, they asked everyone to get up, and they asked people to go inside the chapel. So they came to my row first, and they told us to get up and go inside the chapel. And just like that, I was sitting right in front of the altar. I was in the first row, just like as I wished. I didn't want it. And the monk who was doing the ceremony, she was sitting right in front of me. So it felt very personal. Although there were so many people, I just felt like, it was just me and the masters and the instructor. I cannot go into too much detail of the content of the initiation. It's for you to experience. It's magical. All I can say is that you will feel the presence of the master. The master is not dead. He's still alive. And you will feel it. And you will realize what happens. So ever since that event, I had constant peace and happiness for 2 weeks straight. And after, I guess, I came back to Costa Rica, it went away a little bit, or maybe it was still there, but it just, maybe life started to happen again, and it started to challenge me. And I lost it temporarily, but then I'm slowly coming back to it. The prayer that I asked for has been granted. I can feel it. Whatever happens, I'm able to go through with peace and joy. And more importantly, I'm able to practice the Kriya Yoga more properly now. I thought being initiated, that it doesn't mean I don't have to go. But I was doing it wrong. And going there in person, speaking to the monk, they were able to correct me. So I want to end this video with Jai Guru. Thank you so much for this opportunity, for initiating me into Kriya. And I want this video to be an inspiration or some sort of a push for someone who's considering the path of Kriya Yoga. Trust it and go with it and see what it does for you. Until next time, my friends, be fearless.